Hello again from the posh lavish digs of Mill City Roasters. I'm Steve Green. I'm responsible for everything, and mine are the official views of Mill City Roasters. One of the most frequently asked questions by would-be startup commercial roastery owners is why some roasters seem so cheap and others so expensive. As a small business, do I need to shell out for quality, or am I just paying for a brand name? Why are such seemingly simple machines so expensive? What makes an eBay roaster any different from a ProBat? Some of what you're asking about is the risk premium component of pricing. Gießen, Diedrich, ProBat are all well-known brands with high levels of brand equity. Brand equity is a customer's expectation of quality. When you buy a well-known brand, you pay more because your expectation is that the risk of buying a bad roaster is less than it would be buying an unknown, unproven, or unsupported brand. Lesser-known machines are discounted equal to your risk of the unknown. Then too, another thing you might be paying for, consciously or unconsciously, is for the privilege of what a moderately famous Minnesotan Carleton College economist Thorstein Veblen identified as conspicuous consumption. The idea here is that people sometimes spend more money on things than they're really worth simply to impress others. I was once told by a potential customer they couldn't install my less expensive, more capable production roaster in his cafe because we have a Slayer. Ironically, the machine he went on to purchase from Europe arrived damaged, and then 6 months later, the replacement arrived damaged as well, and incidentally, according to him, neither have ever performed as well as his hidden from customer sight Mill City 500-gram roaster. The famed mid-century designer Charles Eames said, "A product often becomes more useful if the costs are lowered without harming the quality." With that as my goal, my company builds and sells machines that went out against more established brands because we specifically design machines for superior performance and longevity. Although built in China with much more labor-intensive procedures using much heavier, thermally superior frame construction and simpler finish techniques, we command a higher price because of the quality of our UL and CSA listed components and ongoing support. More important are the conscious design choices we've made. A casual observer, for instance, might think a cleaner direct drive motor to be superior, but we actually prefer a chain-driven drum for the reasons that the chain isolates the motor from heat and minimizes vibration. Unseen beneath the drivetrain cover are additional protective anti-backlash and torque limiters. These protect the motor and transmission from shock and in the case of a jammed or stuck drum. Why? Because I once repaired a ProBat UG25 where a 3-inch bolt in a bag of green coffee crashed the drum to a halt and shattered the drive shaft. This stuff happens, but not on my roasters. Over the last several years, I've literally spent thousands of hours thinking about roasters. I've experimented with, designed, tweaked, retrofitted, modified, and tested hundreds of ideas, changes, and improvements for each of our 10 current models. Some of these changes have increased performance and some have increased reliability. Some have been discarded specifically because they would have become what I considered to be an overly complex point of failure. All that blinky light trick stuff might look neat, but if you can't fix it when it breaks, you're not delivering coffee until someone shows up to wave the magic wand, hopefully in time for you to not screw up a major account. There's always a cheaper roaster to be had, but if you actually need your job and you actually have to be there on time to keep it, you're probably not buying the cheapest car you can find either. My idea of a better roaster is more reliable and easier to repair and maintain, gets you more control, more power, gives you more options over how you handle any given coffee, and minimizes the frustration of repeatedly hitting your roast spec. However, this only matters if you have a roast spec. On the lower end of the price spectrum, there's a place between the ideas of marry in haste, repent in leisure, and there's an ass for every seed. If you're only turning coffee brown or shiny black and you and your customers don't ask for anything more, you may be totally golden with a less capable machine. Moreover, over time, people often get solid coffee out of lousy machinery by simply gravitating towards green coffees and roast styles that actually work on their platform. One problem with this approach, however, is that you can easily push your craft into a cul-de-sac, literally French for the bottom of the bag, of circular self-reinforcing coffee quality where your palate accumulates to your own coffee with the result that only your coffee tastes good. This is the place occupied by guys loudly claiming to be producing the best coffee I ever had on cheap machines. I'm okay with that, but 100% for certain, theirs is not the best coffee I've ever had. Part of launching a business is finding ways to do things, not reasons not to do things. Price is always a consideration, but your business is only as strong as its weakest link. Our business is to make sure that's not your roaster. Again, from the Posh Life Estates, Mill City Roasters, I'm Steve Green. Thank you.